Hey, Kenny, what's going on? Rob Cesternino here and Taran Armstrong. And we're happy for you that you have finally gotten free of the Big Brother house and are going to be headed home soon. I mean, we saw from you some pretty major swings about wanting to stay and then sometimes wanting to go home. Could you just talk a little bit about what you were experiencing in the house?
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for talking to me today. For sure. I totally underestimated the emotions of the game. I started this journey about 5 years ago, going to an open casting call. And I really wanted to be on the show. And I tried and tried and tried, and I got my wish. I think it would have been different 5 years ago because my kids were a lot younger. Now they're 6 and 8, and I got two older kids. But I underestimated the isolation portion of the game, and that's a huge part of the game that I don't think people really understand about. Being able to lock that away, and in the Big Brother house, you go for 2 or 3 days between HOH com, nominations, veto competition, veto meeting, and then you have like 3 days of just like trying to navigate the house and trying to figure out what's going on. And those 3 days of being super slow and not really having a lot to do that day and having a lot of downtime really get your mind going about like, oh, what's going on at home? I hope my kids are okay. I hope my wife is okay. Oh, wait, I'm not okay. Like those type of things. And that was very difficult to me. But then, once you started the cycle over again at HOH competition, I'm a competitor at nature. And I always tried to win. I didn't throw any competitions. I never, even going in, my wife was like, do not win the first HOH, not win the first HOH. And once I got in there and I realized it was going to be 3 nominees, I'm like, yeah, I can't throw this comp. I got to, get the first HOH done. And when I blew that one, that was kind of a downer for me. But then when I came back and I, played the veto competition, it got me re-energized again. And then, week after week, that was kind of my plan. I knew I was going to have downs. And the house guests were really good about trying to keep me up and keep my spirits up. But they also knew that once it came game time, whatever competition it was, that
Sure.
Kenny was ready to go.
We often saw you asking your fellow house guests to nominate you or vote you out, even when most of the time that's not really in their best interests in the game. Why didn't you just leave?
Yeah, I wasn't going to leave. The house guests did a really good job about trying to keep my head in the game. And at the end of the day, I'm a competitor. I did want to win, and I did want to stay in there. As tough as it was to be away from my family, there were a lot of moments in that game that I was ready to go. My alliance was coming along. We were feeling pretty strong here at the end, and we had a plan. If they ended up getting Quinn out, me and Tucker had a plan on what we were going to try and do. So that was always an option. But at the end of the day, you get down on yourself, and you're missing home, and you say things and do things that you probably ordinarily wouldn't do. There's a lot of factors that play into it. Probably being 52 years old and having a lot of loss in my life, plays a role in it too, as opposed to being 21 or 30 and being able to pick up and go and get to this game and be completely isolated from the outside world.
Sure.
There's a lot of things that are factors in this game, and if I had the opportunity to have a phone call every day or an email or a picture, those little things can change the game immensely for a player like myself, but it would be unfair.
Kenny, so we saw that you were very close with Tucker in the house. From your vantage point, did you feel like that Cedric did Tucker dirty this week?
No, I don't think he did. When we were up in the HOH room and Tucker came up with this plan, it kind of happened too because I spiraled Tucker, where I was actually earlier in the day, had a real good conversation with Quinn, and I was trying to pull Quinn in a kind of like a low key way. I didn't let him know that me and Tucker were super close, and I definitely didn't let him know it was Cedric, but I kind of threw the idea, and Quinn kind of got me hook, line, and sinker. He played it off like this was a great idea, and I want to do this and talk to Tucker and let's make it happen. And when I talked to Tucker, that kind of spiraled him. Tucker was like, what's Quinn talking about? I'm in an alliance with him. He's in the underdog alliance, and he's with Joseph. He's in 3 different alliances right now. And so that actually spiraled Tucker a little bit. He's like, we're going to put him up. He goes, I'm going to use the veto on Angela, and we're going to put up Tucker. We're going to put up Quinn. And I thought it was a great move, but I thought it was going to be too early. I thought it was a week or two too early to do that. I tried to talk him out of it a little bit, but if you guys have been following Tucker and listening to Tucker, no one's talking Tucker out of what Tucker wants to do. And even up until, an hour before the veto meeting, I said, Tucker, you sure you want to do this? Cedric says we don't have the votes. And he was like, I'm doing it. and he stormed off. So I had hopes that he wasn't going to do it. But in the back of my mind, I kind of knew he was. And I did know that although Cedric didn't tell me he wasn't going to put up Quinn, I knew that Cedric didn't have the guts that Tucker had to do that at that particular time of the game, because we both knew it was a week too early.
Yeah. Have you heard about the alliances yet that Cedric was in?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, so part of the issue was that he was in two different alliances, but like a bigger structure. So in week one, everyone formed, not everyone, but a lot of people formed this alliance called the Collective that Angela was supposed to be in, but she thought it was a fake thing and she called it a low budget performance.
Yeah.
So after that, they just went like, oh, I guess we'll just do the alliance without Angela. And so the Collective was Cam, Cedric, Chelsea, Brooklyn, Chemo, T-Core, and Quinn and Joseph. And then within that, there's a 5-person alliance called the Pentagon. And that was Cam, Cedric, Chelsea, Brooklyn, and Quinn. So Cedric's entire alliance structure kind of rested on Quinn being there. So the pitch was definitely going to be a hard one to land.
Yeah. Oh, Cedric.
Kenney, we saw that back in week one, you and Angela really were not getting along. But am I crazy, or was there like a little bit of a thawing between you and Angela by the time you left the house?
Yeah, I mean, I really didn't go at it with Angela too much. I had one moment with her where she was trying to kind of like not let me advocate for Matt. And I told her, she put me in the position by putting me on the block. And although I didn't agree with how she acted, she was human. She had no sleep. She was playing the game totally wrong. She was talking to people for hours one-on-one. And she was spiraling out of control. But at the end of the day, she's a human being. She's actually a huge fan of the game. She was super excited to be there. And she was my biggest advocate, to be honest with you. She had every chance that she could get to be annoying at times, would come up to me and be like, you got to keep going in the game, Kenney. You got to keep going in the game. Think of how proud your family's going to be. And I'm like, I know how proud my family's going to be, Angela. So I really respected her willingness never to give up on me. And she didn't. Up until the very end, she never gave up on me. And I mean, she kind of knew she needed me in the game too, but she's a good person.
Yeah, we saw that you were suspicious of a women's alliance. Did you have an idea of who that would have been in that?
I knew Brooklyn was running something. Brooklyn was too comfortable in the house. She tried to work with me. Actually, we tried to at least stay together, but she never committed to me. So I kind of knew she's just trying to keep me close to her alliance, but not actually in the alliance. So I kind of figured that out fairly early about Brooklyn. And I just knew that she had the girls, and I knew she flipped the vote on Matt. That was the big thing that made me believe that there was an alliance. And I knew that Mackenzie and Leah were kind of out of that alliance at the beginning. But then once Chelsea won the HOH, there was a lot of girl time in the HOH room. And that's why I kind of felt like they had a bond together. And I knew, again, being a fan of the game, I knew there was a bigger alliance in the house that was that you needed to have to continue on for the first at least 3 or 4 weeks. But I also kind of felt that any alliance that was in the house wasn't super strong. So that was kind of my thought. But I definitely knew Brooklyn was kind of leading the pack in the alliance category.
Kenney, I know you got to run. Last thing real quick. How do you feel about new HOH Angela?
I'm super happy for her. I hope she doesn't go crazy again, but I think she'll go after Brooklyn.
Okay, we'll see. All right. Kenney, thank you so much for making some time, and all the best, and hope the homecoming goes great. Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care. Bye.
Have a great day.